Hey there, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out In-Session Audio's Taiko Creator. In-Session Audio have a reputation of creating great sounding, easy to use and highly customizable instruments. Taiko Creator is the first library in their percussion series, and it just so happens to be on a great sale. But why are we looking at a library that is quite a few years old now? Great libraries stand the test of time, and Taiko Creator is one of them. Featuring two versions, Core and Core+Expansion Packs, both with massive kits and MIDI suites, Taiko Creator gives you that instant thunderous cinematic sound. Taiko Creator downloads at around 2.2 gigabytes and features 30 kits and 60 MIDI suites in the complete version. It runs in the free Contact Player version 5.7.1 and is NKS compatible. The core package with 10 kits and 20 MIDI suites is on sale for $89.99. The core package plus expansions with 30 kits and 60 MIDI suites is on a bargain sale of $99.97. That is just under $10 more. If you like the sounds and playability of Taiko Creator, there is also a great bundle featuring World Percussion Creator and Dramatic Creator for $299.91. That is a $300 saving and is all the organic percussion you could ever need. The sale ends on the 31st of March, so do check out the In-Session Audio website just to get an idea of the instruments, and of course use this video to hopefully help you make up your mind. In this video, we're going to check out, as usual, the overview of the instrument, some of the sounds it creates, the functionality, then of course I've thrown it into the all-important composition. How is it to compose with? Well, I can tell you right now, really fun. I've used the World Percussion Creator and Dramatic Creator for many years now. I got those as soon as they got released. So Taiko Creator, yeah, it's just that quintessential cinematic sound. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank In-Session Audio for sending over a free copy of Taiko Creator so we could make this video. And of course, while we do get the instruments for free, it does not cloud our thoughts, ideas or judgments on the library. We're just working composers giving you our honest opinion. Without further ado, let's check out Taiko Creator. And here we have the Taiko Creator loaded up in the Native Instruments Complete Control player. It sounds absolutely wonderful, that instant cinematic sound. Sounds absolutely brilliant. Now let's talk about the instrument layout really quickly. So we know we're using the Bamboo Forest kit because it tells us in the middle. And we're on the global tab here. So if I just cycle through these three here, we have the global tab. We got the groups, so you can change the volume, the panning, the instruments. You can add your own different instruments, so to create your own custom kits, and just generally adjust whatever you need to here, even to the tuning. So the customization options are really big. And then the MIDI suites are all to be found here. So you just choose one, audition it, and then you can drag and drop it into a DAW. So we're going to look at these a little bit later, but let's just talk about the amount of kits that you get first of all. So you can load these up from the drop-down menu, get these great GUI graphics. Okay, so the colors down the bottom, the keys, they correspond to pitch. So have our lower drums towards the left, and then sort of rims articulations. then our mid, then our highs. I'll say highs. And we can check in the group tab, see exactly what we're working with. Yeah, they sound brilliant. And the kits are really, really huge. And then on the right-hand side, towards the top end of your controller, we have more of the sound design. So we've got booms, brush cymbal, deep atmosphere, China stick, conga stick, and some metals. Really, really cool stuff. So the group tab is really, really useful for that and all this different customization. And you can just write down to the sample start, the attack, the release. Very, very cool stuff. Now, in the global tab, if I just load up another kit. So Kitsune and the key. Let's talk about the controls, which you can see don't really change too much. They do in the groups, but in the MIDI, they're back to where they were. So we have the EQ DNA. If you turn that on, some of the kits already have it on, but you can change. You can change the EQ. It's not in the mix. Gone a little bit louder. Let's go bring it down the mix. But you can adjust the EQ DNA. And then we've got drive, got width, we've got velocity, volume. And then we've got mixers. So you can solo off. Let's say we just want the close. Or the mid. And the far. And you can adjust these with the sliders. Sounds brilliant. And then you can adjust the output and the range as well of each mic. Very, very great in terms of controls. It's going to unsolo all of these. It's going to bring it down. And then we have different types of reverb. And you can adjust the pre-delay, the size and the filter as well, and the level. So really, really useful controls straight out the box. Now let's just load up a different instrument. I'm just going to go back up. That's pretty much where we were, I think. It's got the golden pavilion. It does seem a little bit quiet, actually. There we go. Now, let's look at the MIDI. So the MIDI is essentially where all the MIDI suites are. So I'm actually going to zoom in. The reason being, I'm not fantastic at reading at the moment. So I do apologize for the window resizing there. Now, we can see we have different... let's go for the first one. So different suite. Bamboo... It says bamboo... See, I still can't read it too well. So bamboo forest, I think it says. Anyway, so 4/4. And you have these in different time signatures, so 3/4 also. Tells you the BPM, 104. Is it bamboo forest? It's bamboo forest, yeah. So you select it. Okay. So you can audition all of these in your DAW. We have some fills as well, so I'm just going to load up another one. Now these do tempo sync to your DAW as well, so despite the fact it says this one is 64, nice bit of sound design there. Yeah, so it will, obviously, because when you drag it in, so use this to drag in the MIDI into your DAW, you don't get, it's not a single loop, you're not holding down a single key, it's dragging in MIDI information that triggers that loop. So it's very, very cool. It's also very customizable. But you have this audition button, and it's really important once you've found a loop that you like or a performance that you like, that you turn that off. Now you can have these in half time, so that was quite a fast fill. So that's half time version. So my DAW is actually set, believe it or not, to 140. Lovely. So we've got all of these different MIDI suites. This is the full version, so there are 30, and then they are split up into high and low drums as well. And of course you can go double time. 140 I probably wouldn't really want to do. And you can adjust to the velocity as well, so how hard do they hit. So if we go back to half time. And it will drag in whichever velocity you have put in there. So, like I say, you've got all of these different MIDI suites. So like I say, this is the version with the expansions, which I believe is definitely the best value for money. It's the cheapest it's ever been as well. And you also have all these different kits. Now the kits, like I say, there are so many different types of instruments. Okay, that actually peaked a little bit. It does sound absolutely incredible. So yeah, and then of course you just load up. This one's got triplet feel. It's very cool stuff. Now, I could spend all video just playing the different kits, and like I say, there are 30. They're very, very cool. And like I say, I absolutely love the GUI, how it changes, and the graphics. They're just absolutely brilliant. So essentially, that is Taiko Creator. Because I don't want to ruin the experience of exploring it, but you can hear it is just fantastic percussion straight out the box. And it's got very, very intuitive controls. You have all of these MIDI suites that create the different performances. And of course, they're playable instruments as well. So if you don't want to use the MIDI suites and you just want to create your own, you can. And the kits are absolutely huge. And that's fantastic. So you're going to get just a really, really broad and detailed sound. The controls are really, really straightforward as well. I mean, really, there's nothing about Taiko Creator that I wish would be improved or would change or be tweaked. It's just absolutely perfect to work with. And speaking of working with it, I have already created a composition. So I am going to play the composition and then talk about my composing experience and then deliver my closing remarks. Okay, let's go on with the composition. The composition highlights exactly why I love using in-session audio instruments within my own productions. Essentially, they do the heavy lifting for you. They sound incredible out of the box. Their design is such a way that they are really easy to learn and use. And of course, you can tweak them and customize them to your heart's content. So let's talk about Taiko Creator. We have 3 instances of Taiko Creator, and that is it. And the piece sounds very, very percussion rich. But really, I didn't want to overcrowd it too much, and just these 3 tracks are just perfect for this kind of piece. And then we have some low sound design horns. We have a kangling instrument, has some voices. I love these voices. I've used them a few videos ago, and because I've not had the chance to actually compose something with them, I'm putting them into every demo. So yes, you may recognize these from a previous video. And then everything red is typical sound designs. We've got risers, whooshes, downers, stingers. Yeah, all the stuff we'd expect to hear in a sound design percussion composition. And it all started off with Bamboo Forest. And you can hear the other parts at play there. So we have the stinger going on, there is a drone, and then the kangling. Yeah. It could be a melody, but it isn't, let's be honest. But it sounds horrible, and that's exactly what I was going for. So I was going for a kind of tribal feel, a bit of horror maybe. A little bit of danger, and the kangling is perfect for that. Now, you can hear if I just solo the track off. It's just such a full performance straight away, and all I've done is drag the MIDI in. I've not really adjusted it at all. You just have this amazing performance and this percussive bed. So moving forwards, we have the sound design horns. And then we have the glitch riser. Now, I am well aware there are lots of different plugins that can create this glitch effect. In fact, I can think of 3 in the space of 2 seconds. However, I love just rendering the samples to audio and then chopping them up and deleting random bits just to create a little glitch effect. And it is really important just to make sure you have a slight fade out at the end, so you don't get that horrible audio pop when the sample ends. So really, really simple sound design, and of course that's coupled with the Bamboo Forest hit and a downer. Lovely. So it gives us almost like an edit point. I mean, it's not complete silence, but it's a cool like stop. Lovely. Now, we have a different rhythm still on the Bamboo Forest kit. So great metals and variety of rib shots and just different instruments. And it showcases the sheer amount of instruments within each kit. So if I just go into the MIDI, again, you can see all of these different instruments are playing simultaneously. I mean, yeah, that is superb. And if you do want to take away an instrument, you can just highlight it and delete it. So let's see what we got here. So I don't want these sound design elements. So with it, I mean, they're not too loud anyway, but let's say I want to take them out. take all this out at the top. So you can keep the same rhythms, but of course take out different instruments. So that's really, really handy. I just love, like I say, the tweakability of all of this. Now, we carry on. There's another riser. I've changed the stinger. Lovely. And I couldn't, well, no, I could have, but I didn't fancy automating the stinger out. So again, I rendered it and just chopped off the end, so it doesn't bleed over into the next section, which sounds like this. So this is more percussive, inventing new words today, percussive. So I'm bringing in different elements, and when you're writing percussion trailers, well, not trailers, but sort of action-packed adrenaline music, it's very, very difficult to make it sound harmonically interesting because I'm working in C, I'm staying on C all the way through. So I'm looking for different elements that can make it do that. So obviously we have these pauses for editing reasons, but introducing the voices, it just gives it something a little bit different. And I've gone for a stop there as well. I've dropped in a fill just from the MIDI, and it just gives us, again, something different going on. And I wouldn't normally, I would have a bombastic ending, but I decided just to go back to the start because I wanted to showcase Escape the City High. So this, if you're wearing headphones, you'll notice this is panning left and right. And again, it just gives it more interest. So with the main rhythm, yeah, I really, really like that. And then just the ending. I moved the glitch riser to the left of it, so it drops on the beat, and finish with a stinger and a downer. And again, we've got the Escape the City still going. I'm using Panman there as well. It's my go-to panning plugin. What I should have done actually is increased the downer. I mean, this is really poor MIDI writing, but I don't know how on the sampler is, so I'm just getting it there. That's one hell of a downer. Lovely. And there is our piece. So really, really straightforward, but you can see the Taiko Creator just kind of wrote itself, as it were. I just made some choices, dragging and dropping, auditioning different kits. Not everything, like all of the MIDI performances are at 140, so obviously they adjust, and they adjust so well. Yeah, just love the flexibility and the versatility. So any of the MIDI sort of performances that you get, you can use in any tempo really, because like I say, you're dropping them into your DAW, and you have the options to do halftime as well. So that's really, really useful. It's going to bring up Bamboo Forest. Yeah, so we've got halftime, normal, and double time. Again, you can audition them and then just drop them in as you see fit. So I love the versatility. Absolutely wonderful. So composing with Taiko Creator, yeah, it's a fantastic composing experience, and that does extend to Dramatic Creator and World Percussion Creator, because all three of them working exactly the same way, and they all have the same sound quality. So, which is wonderful, by the way. Really, really expansive kits, incredibly well sampled, just wonderful. And once again, we've arrived at the part of the video where I share my closing thoughts about Taiko Creator. I've used World Percussion Creator and Dramatic Creator a lot. They are wonderful instruments, so I know I'm going to use Taiko Creator within my productions. However, all of those different instruments in the series have different kits, and of course different core instruments and different instruments that have been sampled. And Taiko Creator is the quintessential big epic cinematic sound. It sounds wonderful out of the box. It's punchy, it cuts through the mix, it sounds incredible. You can use it for trailers, for chase scenes, battle scenes, underscore, really wherever your imagination takes you. But it's one of those libraries that has a huge amount of utility, and I say this about every in-session audio library. I started off with Riff Generation Inside Out Edition, and I've never looked back, and I've used that. I even used it the other day on a crime piece because, yeah, it's a wonderful instrument. Now, do I recommend Taiko Creator? I certainly do. So of course we have two different editions. So you have the core edition, you've got the complete edition. I really would, within this sale for an extra $10, get the complete edition. If you can stretch even further, it really is worth picking up the bundle. It's a huge discount at the moment, around $300 off, and you won't regret it. It will meet all of your percussion needs. But what do I love about the instrument, and why do I recommend it so highly? It's customizable. You use MIDI information to work out and sort of trigger the patterns, as it were. You're not playing a single note to play a loop. So that means you can customize it. And there are a lot of people who don't like using loops, but you can use the loops as a basis for something that you create to make it unique. I love the controls. Everything is on board. You don't have to do any kind of extra tweaking to get the sound. It just sounds wonderful. I love the audition system, the MIDI drop system. Again, absolutely brilliant. Just everything about the library sounds wonderful. And of course, it all starts with amazing sampling, and In-Session Audio have sampled these instruments so perfectly. If you're looking for percussion, pick it up. I know it is a bit of an older library, but in my experience, an older library that stands the test of time is a library that you really should have in your composing arsenal. And all that leaves me to say is thank you once again to In-Session Audio for sending over a copy of Taiko Creator so we can make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course leave a comment. I do endeavour to reply to every comment on the videos. What do you like about the instrument? Maybe you have it, maybe you've used it for years, or you have other instruments in the series. Just let us know your thoughts. And then if you've not done so already, please check out our other videos on YouTube. We love creating the content, so please smash that subscribe button. Until next time, have a great day. Keep making that beautiful music.